Hello guys and welcome to a brand new video. Today I'm here with Kowloon Generic Romance episode number 3 reaction. Okay, the previous episode we actually get to know a lot more about the other Kujirai that Kudo knows about. She was very different from the current Kujirai. Her personality was completely different, and you know um, a lot of the things that Kudo says now are something that he heard from Kujirai, like talking about like nostalgia, like the his food habits, everything is like actually from Kujirai. And and that is why the current Kujirai, that is Kujirai A, she kind of like wears like the earring like she did, and Kudo got angry about that because I'm pretty sure he thought that Kujirai B was back. And But by the end of it, they kind of talk to each other, and like they reconcile. And Kujirai A was like, so then let's go and eat lemon chicken. Now she wanted him to go with her to eat what she likes, the current her, because Kudo up until now is just trying to like live the past. Like he's trying to just remember and emulate what Kujirai B used to do, and it's just living in the past. So she took him and ate lemon chicken with him, which he liked as well. Yeah, like that was the first part. The final part was a bit weird because we get to meet Hebinuma, and turns out I don't know what is going on, but it turns out maybe he actually knows Kujirai from the past. Maybe I'm not really sure, but like there were certain sections where it seemed like he like likes the fact that this Kujirai is actually without any memories. Like currently there's no memories of her past, so he's planning something like probably like I don't know, he's trying to make her into a guinea pig or something, maybe like that's his plan. Not really sure. This show is filled with mystery, so let's see what happens. Let us begin. Episode number 3. I'll be putting the subtitles and the timer here. Sync it whichever is your preference, and let's get started. Okay, here's the countdown. 3, 2, 1, go. Hmm, what? Oh, the past. Hmm. Yeah. Oh, what the? What happened? Oh. Um. Right. Okay, so she lives in the same place now. And room number 8 makes sense why he. I should realize that. And that's why he has like, like a. Hmm. Hmm. Let's see, that's why. Hmm. There's that. I don't understand what this is. What is that sparkly thing? Hmm. Get that often. Hmm. Right. The feeling, yeah. Wow. I can understand what she's saying, you know. Wanting to lock something up in your heart. Wow. Damn, that was interesting. She has plushies now. You can see how her personality has changed. Hey! What is he doing? Oh my god. I broke up this person. He's making a new clinic? Kudo's not happy. Yeah. Right. Bruh. Wait! Oh my god! He's ready! He's ready! Good god. Right. Wait, what? Yeah. Wait. His tongue is how? What? Wait. Is that like? Right. He is a germaphobe, as he said. You know what? Eden. Oh, right. Apple and snake. Okay. Great. Okay, one thing, like I said, I do know people sometimes have like, two, like their tongues. There are like, I don't know what it is, it's like genetic or something, I'm not sure. But their tongues like kind of break into two, and apparently you can like control both the sides or something like that. Is it something like that, or is that some kind of a mutation or something in his tongue? Like, what's going on? Like, his tongue is literally a snake's tongue. Oh, what? Dead stock. Oh, I won't come back again, I guess. Hmm. Add a broom. Oh, the same. Right. Yeah, he remembered that. Oh my god. Yeah, the it's just the mannerisms are so much same. Even though she doesn't remember or like, has no clue about the same. No water. Okay. This plush is here this time. That's another change. Yep. What was it called? Terachan or something? Genetera mascot. So it's a mixture between the previous Reiko and this. It's kind of interesting. Hmm. Yeah, exactly. That's why, so many changes. Uh, what type? Yeah. Hmm. Yeah. Oh, what was her name? Zhao He. What? Bruh. Oh, really? Yeah. Hmm. Doesn't click. What does she want? Like, hmm. Damn. Wait, okay, I have so many questions. Another thing I never thought about. What about all the people that knew her? Zhao He should have known her like, okay, wait a minute. What the hell? Oh, she probably likes it. What? Okay. Right. Hmm. Yeah, it's not for her, basically. Oh, oh, wow. Yeah. Because, the sun. Hmm. And it kind of makes sense because, like sunflower always moves towards the sun. Damn. Oh, what the? Oh, Is is this? Wait, is this that guy from the? Like the guy who left. What? Oh. Hmm. Direct accent with his. Wait. Okay, so he knows about Reiko from before. 2 weeks ago. Okay, no, no, it's not him. Okay, never mind. Okay. Damn! Everything about him is a snake. Like literally, yes. Okay, yeah, Gwen. I thought that was him. I forgot that he didn't have long hair. Neighbor. Yeah. Dead end. Oh, this guy's back again. Okay, let's look at his. All right. Wait, I'm so confused. Wait, what is going on here? No, they're not the same person, that means. But he looks like him. Yeah. The stranger is trampling on the. Oh, wait, what is. So that bartender is. Okay. Oh, the flower wilted. Hmm. Doppelganger, like a. Oh, her. What's happening? Her eyesight going bad again, or like what? Hmm. Oh my god. You're the one who doesn't. Yeah. The plushie. The ash is just. Whoa, what is happening? No, it's something else is going on here. Alright. Damn. All right, and that was today's episode. Oh my god, every single episode makes me question so many things. This episode made me question so many things that I don't understand. So, like, one thing is pretty damn obvious. In this place, there are people living the lives of other people. That guy, or there's some kind of time travel parallel world thing is going on here. You know, so like the guy in the mask, at first I was like, when he was wearing the mask, I was like, oh, is this the same guy in the bartender guy? But then he showed his face. No, then they showed, like, he has long hair, and the guy, they were like speaking, him and Hebinuma were speaking about him, right? And I was like, okay, so this is a different person. But then he opened his mask, and I'm like, wait, it's the same person, but he has like long hair. So what's up with him though? So is he, like, his situation is some like a similar thing that's going on with Reiko? Is that what's going on? Like, the person in the bar that day wasn't the same Gwen that what's his name? Kudo knows, or Kudo knew. Like, Kudo, it wasn't the same. Like, I don't understand that. Okay, so that's one thing. Another thing is that, at this point it's pretty obvious that this Reiko is someone else, and this is not just some amnesia or like nothing like that. This is not amnesia or anything. Something as a, because if you think about it, if this was normal amnesia, in no way would Kudo and that guy as well in the mask, they would never say something like, you are not the same person, you're living the life of an, so this is someone else completely. So they also hinted that the previous Reiko shouldn't be in this world anymore. Now I don't know what that means. Usually if this was just a normal show, it would mean that Reiko's dead, but this show, I feel like there's some weird stuff going on here. So by, unless until they say that the previous Reiko is dead, I think we shouldn't, I think we shouldn't really like think about it like that. So I think, like, he said something like the previous Reiko shouldn't be here. Here we go. Oh, you know me this part. Okay, I know, but I knew Miss Reiko Kujirai very well, and her relationship with Kudo as well. Okay, here we go. I see you have a beauty spot mark in the same spot as well. How annoying. It looks like a total stranger is trampling on the precious memory of my friend. Okay, and then, well, you're living someone else's life without a clue, so I feel bad for you. Okay, tell Kudo-san I'll come visit him soon, Miss Reiko Kujan. No, wait, where's that part where he says that the other Reiko shouldn't be here anymore? Where's that part? Okay, 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 I cannot find it now. There was a section where he said that the original Reiko shouldn't be here anymore. I want to check that part out because I want to see what exact wording he used, because like I said, we shouldn't assume that the previous Reiko is dead. Something else might have happened. Um, so that's why I'm trying to find that part. Um, okay. I knew Miss. Anyways, I cannot find that part now. Anyways, but like, yeah. So what I think now that I'm thinking about it, this has to do with. I think this has to do something with the whole, like, like maybe like someone's, um, I don't know, if someone's personality was like like someone else is like in Reiko's body, and this person is the current Kujira, as you can see, and that is why this person has no memories about the previous Reiko. I think it's something like that, because like I feel like we still don't understand what is going on with this world, because there's a lot of things that is just surprising. Like like even though we see Kowloon like this, I think this world is technologically very much ahead of you know of how everything looks like pretty normal, but I don't think that's the case. And I think something is going on, like maybe people over here in this world have gained the ability, not ability, but have discovered something, or they are so much scientifically advanced that they can actually put someone else into someone's body, or something like that. Maybe something like that had happened. Maybe like like Reiko, like somehow died or passed away, like the Reiko B, and like someone else's thing, like personality or something, was put in her, and this is a completely different person living the life of Reiko, and that's why this person has no like memory or anything about Reiko. you know and now obviously you'd probably say, then what about the manners and everything? you know like, if I'm to believe that this is someone who is not Reiko, then I do have an answer to the question, that how does he have, like her mannerisms and everything is very much, a lot of them are like Reiko. How does that happen? I would say it's like the memory from the body. Like if you didn't know, there's a thing like called, I don't know what it's called, but it's like a muscular or a molecular memory. Like there's like memories inside your body as well. So it's like basically, like, by being in the body, your body knows a lot of things, and it has a lot of habits, like always just like just there. So even if you're a different person, you kind of emulate what the other person do without even knowing about it. So for example, like how she, like when she goes inside the room, you can see she was like, oh, put the slippers outside and keep the door open. These things. A lot of the other things, for example, like when she talks about like nostalgia and stuff, the same thing that Reiko used to speak about, her smoking habits, watermelon, love for watermelon, all these things are like that. But at the same time, she's gaining new things that she likes, for example plushies, which Reiko never used to keep, and other stuff, like the fish tank that she put. All these things are like for her. So again, I'm not really sure what is happening here. If at first, up until now, I was thinking this was mere amnesia or something like that, today's episode made it extremely clear this is not just some normal amnesiac's, like character, like for not remembering her past situation. This is actually a different person. you know so that's very interesting. Now, so that would be like, what, so many questions, like I would bring up another question: what happened to the previous Reiko? Like how is this, what is going on over here, why is it like this? Now this would also bring up another question, which Kudo said later on, that what you're feeling is not, you're saying that you like me, but what you're feeling is probably not something that you feel. It is because of you are in Reiko's body. Now, again, like I said, it is, but at the same time, I would say that if this person is completely different person, like, just being in the same body wouldn't make them like the same. Like like I don't think that. I don't know. You know what? No idea, unless and until we have like a concrete evidence as to what's going on. Like all these scattered clues. That's all these clues that are scattered around. They don't really, like, you cannot really make anything out of it, for now at least. So I feel like we need more information to figure out what's going on. And Reiko, this current Reiko says that, oh no, what I feel now, this is all me. Like you might be looking at the previous Reiko, but and I know that, and I know that I'm probably not the same person. But this is what I feel. But Kudo was like, oh no, this is just an illusion. Because you're in the same body, this is what's happening. So something like that. Anyways, so that's what's going on with Reiko, or whatever we could figure out with this episode. So, and here's another thing. The thing that is going on with Reiko, something similar is probably happening with that guy as well, Gwen, right? he, first and foremost, he was there in the shop, in the bar, you know, and he recognized Reiko, he recognized Kudo, he did the whole thing, and then he disappeared suddenly. And now he's back again suddenly, and now it seems like this current person, the person that we saw today with the long hair, he apparently wasn't the person in the bar. So what is going on here? Like, what is this? You know what? I feel like we'll get more answers if the current Kudo meets this guy, and when he talks to him, I think we'll get a lot of answers, because I want to see how Kudo reacts to this guy now. Because it seems like this guy knows Kudo very well. They're good friends, but that was supposed to be Gwen, right? So that guy in the bar, was that an imposter? Like, what is happening? I have so many questions after this episode. Like, this is just, I don't know. I just thought up until now, I was thinking this is just like a normal amnesia show or something. Like, no, it isn't. It's probably not. Like, I genuinely was thinking up until now that, there was a part of me that I was thinking maybe this is something else. But there was like majority part of my, inside my head, I was thinking that by what they mean by, oh, a different person, is just like a symbolic way of saying that, oh, like, not symbolic, but it's like a way of speaking, like, oh, you don't have the same memories, that's why you're not the same person. Like that, I was thinking. I wasn't expecting this person in Kujirai to be literally a different person. Like I said, there was probably a part of me that was thinking that maybe it's something like that, but I was just focusing on the fact that, oh, she just doesn't have the memories, that's why Kudo and everyone else is saying that this is not the same person. Like, in that way, that is why. Like, I don't know, again, it's just, I don't know what to think now. You know what, let me go to that Hebinuma section where he talks to him. Okay, this part, he says, it was really her. Something did feel a bit off, but her color, scent, and touch pretty much identical. I also went to his former place of work. There you go. He was working there until 2 weeks ago. Okay, he's talking about Gwen, right? The bartender? Now he's missing. I wanted to check out more, but wandering around would draw unwanted attention. Okay, so that's that. Now, you see, when he said that, I was like, okay, so this guy is not the same guy. He's not that guy, the bartender guy. And then on the rooftop, he takes out his mask, he looks exactly like him. And then Reiko's like, aren't you the server from the Goldfish Tea House? You quit out of, now, you could easily say that, oh, maybe Reiko's mistaken. Maybe this is a twin brother or something. Maybe he's like a twin brother. Like, there's a lot of things that is throwing me off now. One thing is that before, when he referred to that guy, the bartender guy, as him, like, he said like him, and I was like, okay, so this guy and that guy are separate people, right? That's what I thought, because that's why he was like, oh, I checked out his workplace. He was working there 2 weeks ago. Suddenly he left. So I was thinking, yeah, this person is separate, that person is separate. That's why he's referring to him as him. Now he comes here, talks to Reiko, and Reiko immediately was like, oh, you are the bartender. You suddenly quit out there. What happened? And now I'm like, wait, so yeah, this is the bartender. He looks exactly the same. And then you could probably say that, okay, maybe this guy is like a twin brother or something. Maybe Reiko is mistaken. But that is also not the case, because what he says after this makes it even more confusing. He says, oh, you know me. There you go. So, why would he say that? If the bartender guy and him are different, why would he say that, oh, so you know me? Like, this whole show is like throwing me off. So I just don't understand what is happening. Are these people the same? Like, what is going on? Is it like what was going on? He was investigating a person who exactly looked like him, did the same job as him, you are saying? Because he says like, oh, you know me. So he is talking about himself, but at the same time he's not talking about himself. He's talking about that guy who left. So is that guy and him the same? Like, what is going on here? Like, obviously, the biggest difference between him and that guy is number one, like he has long hair, and there's another thing, I guess. He's wearing a mask. You know what? I think like the more and more I'm thinking about it, the more and more I'm realizing this has to do something with parallel world or time travel. Something, not time travel. I would say parallel world. Time travel would make no sense. It's parallel world shenanigans going on here. Like, because I feel like this guy, the Gwen guy that we saw, he left suddenly. That guy is this world's version of this guy, the guy with the long hair. And they're the same person, but they're different. Same with Reiko, I feel like. But then again, I don't know. Like, this is barely the third episode. Like, throughout these three episodes, I have constantly changed my mind about thinking what is going on with this show. I still cannot figure it out. What is happening here? At first, I was thinking it was amnesia, like, then split personality, and now I'm thinking parallel. It's pretty crazy if you think about it. Like, at first, I was thinking split personality when I started watching the show. Then I was like, oh no, it's just amnesia. And now I'm thinking, no, it's none of that. It's parallel worlds. I wonder what I'll think after three more episodes. Like, good God, what is happening here? This is such an interesting show, Like, it's just, it throws you off complete, like, constantly. So one thing is pretty clear, and I would say this is 100% clear. Kujirai Reiko A is not Kujirai Reiko B. Kujirai Reiko A, currently, the current Kujirai Reiko, is someone else inside of Kujirai Reiko B's body. And that is why she acts like her. Now, again, don't know how this is going on, but that is what it seems like is happening. This is not amnesia, nothing like that. It's actually a different person. So, because everyone is hinting towards that. Hebinuma literally is investigating her because of this, because Hebinuma knew about her. As you can see, he literally said that to investigate, and then he said that, oh, is this the same, no, he said like, it is the same person, but it's very different. So, that Kudo also said the same thing. Even Reiko herself says in the end that, oh, I'm probably not the same person. I'm not Kujirai Reiko, but I am me. So I think that at least is pretty clear. This is someone else. This is not amnesia or anything like that going on. This is way more complicated than that. Right. So, yeah. But you know what? Let's wait and see. Now, there's another thing that I'm kind of confused about, which is, I wouldn't call it confused. Oh, you know what? This is a very good question. I never thought about it. Think about this. Why does she not have memories of Kudo or being in love with him? Like, she likes him, obviously, we know that. But why does she not have memories of the previous Reiko with Kudo? Right? Why I'm asking this question is because she has memories about everyone else. She has memories of a Zhaohe, right? She should forget about her as well, shouldn't she? She has memories about Zhaohe. She doesn't have the memories that she shared with her and Kudo. Why is that the case? But maybe I don't know. Maybe it's because it's connected to her. Like, because her memory is missing, so anything connected to her should be missing as well. But if that's the case, then she should be missing Zhaohe's memories as well, right? But from the looks of it, she knows that she's good friends with Zhaohe for a long amount of time. Zhaohe also doesn't act any suspiciously or anything. There's also another section which is weird here, because there was a section you can see where Reiko got a memory of Zhaohe saying something, which she was like, oh, like, you said this, and Zhaohe was like, no, I didn't say that. So what's up with that then? What is that memory of Zhaohe she had, which is not the same Zhaohe as... Yeah, I think this has to do with parallel worlds. Like, everything is like pointing in that direction, because like one thing I would make sense in this situation, which is if this is some parallel world shenanigans going on, maybe there's a world where this Reiko, lived a life where Kudo wasn't there. Kudo didn't exist in that world or something like that. Or maybe she never met him. That's why she doesn't have any memories of Kudo, but she have all the other memories. You know, while this world we have this Kujirai Reiko B, and this Kujirai Reiko B has someone like Kudo and met her. Kudo liked her. They got engaged. So something happened, and that Reiko got transported here in this body, and now suddenly she's living the life of obviously Kujirai Reiko. But the big difference here is that Kudo exists here, which never happened in that world. But Zhao He and everyone else that she knows, they're still stay, they're still here. So there's no inconsistencies in the memory. A little bit maybe here and there, because like you said, we see, Zhao He was she had a certain memory of Zhao He that this Zhao He doesn't have. So maybe that is memories of the other Zhao He that she used to know in the other world. I'm making some crazy theories, but everything might be wrong immediately. Maybe like next 1 or 2 episodes, something will be revealed which completely just shuts down this whole theory. But that is the only thing I can come close to into making sense of all of this. Otherwise, nothing. It doesn't make sense. There's too many inconsistencies and a lot of things going on here. Like the only thing that is kind of consistent is the parallel world theory. Like I said, it would make sense. A lot of things would make sense here. A lot of inconsistencies would make sense here, because if she's a different Reiko from a different world, she must have lived a different life, had a different personality completely. So it wouldn't surprise me if she got transported here and they got swapped or something like that happened. So this Reiko is completely different personality Reiko, and a lot of people she doesn't have any memories with, but probably people she never knew on the other world. It wouldn't surprise me if something like that is going on. Also, if you remember in episode 1, there was a section where Reiko and was sitting when she went to the bar alone. She was sitting on the bar in the place, and there was a section when Gwen was like, "Oh yeah, I know you. Both of you were engaged." There was a scene over there where the whole place suddenly it seemed like everything is destroyed, and she's sitting in a place where everything is broken down. You know, like all the it's like looks like a post-apocalyptic world. There was a very small moment when that happened. That would again fit if this is some parallel world going on, this thing going on here, because maybe in the other parallel world she was living a life like that. You know, that's why the memories kind of, she kind of got those memories. You know, it would kind of make sense if that is the case. There are also other things that kind of make me think that, you know, again, I have no clue what is going on. But then again, it's pretty obvious these two are different people. Or maybe the anime is making us think like that. Maybe something else is going on. Who knows? You know what? Let's wait and see. Okay. And there you go. That was today's episode. You know what? Let me just go and look at Gwen's picture again. Kudo was showing Gwen's picture and trying to find where he is. His picture of Gwen that he had was the one with the short hair, with a little ponytail, while the person that we see later on looks exactly like him, but he has long hair, and it seems like he's not the same person. But he does call Kudo his friend again, and he says I hate the fact that you're causing pain to my friend. So he does know Kudo, but he's not the same person in the bar. Yeah, it's just, again, for now, my theory is parallel worlds. Let's see how long that lasts. And let's see if the anime shuts that down completely in a few upcoming episodes where they'll reveal something that'll completely shut that down. Because I've been changing my mind constantly. At first, I was, like I said, at first I was like split personality, then I was like amnesia, and now I'm saying parallel worlds. So who the hell knows what's going to happen and how it's just, let's wait and see. But for now, that's the thing that I could just That's the only thing that I can make any heads and tails of. If it's parables, then a lot of things would kind of fit into place. But yeah, and that's what happened. In the end, you can see Reiko was feeling ill, or like she was like she couldn't see properly, like something was going on, like she was like feeling dizzy or something. She almost fell, but Kudo, I'm sure Kudo grabbed her in time. But yeah, that's how that section ended. And while all of this is happening, we have Hebinuma planning whatever the hell he's planning. I don't know what he's planning, but yeah. Oh, people also said that apparently the Hebinuma is some mistress's child and replaced the president's son. In this show, there's a lot of like replacing going on. You can see like a lot of people getting replaced. Like, yeah, like like so many things. Like first we had Kujirai, then we have Gwen, and then we have Hebinuma being like okay, yeah, crazy. Okay, and there you go. That was today's episode. Yeah, really good episode, really interesting episode. Like I said, so many questions after watching this episode. So yeah. Okay, now that was that. Now let me talk about this episode scene by scene. Let me see if I missed anything. In the very first scene, we get to see Kudo and Reiko. Reiko B in their past, they're like helping this old man, and you can see while after helping that old man, Kudo like gets like a heat stroke, so Kujirai brings him to her place. Obviously, the same room, room number 8, and that's why he always touches the 8. You know why now. Mm. And she goes and he goes inside, and he notices a lot of things. The first thing he notices is that, oh, a lot of things Kujirai says like, oh, keep the door open, keep the slippers, take the wear the slippers, and as soon as they get in, Kujirai opens the door in the balcony and the wind comes in. These are like her mannerisms, which we see later on as well. The Kujirai A also does the same things, but there's a few differences. Obviously, first and foremost, she's like, oh, like when he's washing himself, you can see he washes that there's like a toothpaste and one toothbrush, singular toothbrush. Then in the refrigerator, there's water. She has kept the water there for the chlorinated, so that the chlorine, like the smell doesn't last. It has been kept overnight. That he looks at the room, sees there's no plushies. There's obviously that kettle and the television and all that. A lot of things are there. And then we have Reiko talking about oh, another interesting thing which you might have missed, I think, which is I think here later on, you can see later on the Reiko A, Kujirai A, she said something like, "Don't come in." You know, I think she was probably taking away her underwear that was like outside in the balcony. This previous Kujirai Reiko B, as you can see, she didn't even bother taking that out. She just went in, and while talking to Kudo, she was taking them out. So this Reiko probably was embarrassed. I'm going to go and watch that section and see if she actually removed her underwear from there. You know what? Let me go to that section, because she was like, oh, stop for a moment and come in. Like after, yeah, the there's no underwear outside. I think she probably, because of habit, she probably had it there. But then when she realized that Kudo is coming, she decided to go in, put them down, and unlike the previous Reiko B, who didn't even bother, it was just there, and she was like casually just putting it down. So there you go. Now Reiko B here in the past talked to Kudo about a few things. For example, she talks about nostalgia again. Kudo talks about the nostalgia again. She says like, I can understand that what you're saying, even though I don't live here, I still feel nostalgic with a lot of things. I don't know what that actually means. And Reiko has a very beautiful way of explaining what this nostalgia is. She says like nostalgia isn't about memories and experiences. Despite that, you feel elated as if you have known something all along. In my opinion, nostalgia is a feeling of wanting to lock something up in your heart. That is why it's the same as being in love. So like again, I don't know, like but this is a very interesting like conversation she has. The whole thing about nostalgia. I understand what she and what Kudo are actually saying here, because there has been so many parts I do understand, like the feeling where there's places where I haven't even been before. The place really, like strikes your heart, and you feel very nostalgic going there even though you haven't even been there before. Maybe the place reminds you of something, some previous experience, like she said, not always nostalgia should be something that you should have previous memories of, but it could just be something where you relate to a certain feeling. Like you maybe felt a certain way in your childhood when you like played in your, like in your neighborhood, played with your friends, that type of a feeling. You might get the same feeling when you interact with other people in your life and get the same feeling, and you'll be like, but I never met these people, these are new people that I'm getting introduced to now, but why does it feel nostalgic? Because you're equating the feeling, not the people. The feeling is nostalgic, that is the thing. So obviously Reiko is not saying that this place is nostalgic, she's saying the feeling that you get staying here is a feeling that you can relate to, that probably in your childhood that you somewhere felt, and something like that. And also you want to keep this feeling, like like trapped in your heart, and it's very close to you, so it's the same as being in love. So again, it's a very interesting, I never thought about this, but it's a very, this whole nostalgic thing, this thing that they are always bring up in this show. It's such an interesting thing if you think about, like, because this is actually true, it does happen sometimes. You go to a place and you feel like, oh my god, it feels like I'm home, but it's just a new place. You've never been to this place before, but you still feel it. Right, anyways. So okay, anyway, after that you can see the current Reiko, Kujirai A, is at her house with the little water and the goldfish that Kudo gave her, if you remember, that goldfish. Right. So next you can see Kudo comes in, and then Hebinuma and this other person is also there with them. And Hebinuma apparently wants like a place, and like, they have this conversation. Obviously, he's like looking at Reiko and saying stuff, and Kudo's not happy about it. Um, I love the fact that when Kudo goes go too close to her, he just spray. It's just like sanitation spray or something in his eyes because he's a germaphobe or whatever. Anyways, and then he puts his tongue inside of Reiko's. Now, like, what's that surprised me, but what surprised me more is when I looked at his tongue, it's a freaking snake's tongue. What the hell is that? Okay, what is going on here? Right. So yeah, like it's not like he kissed her or anything. He just jabbed her tongue inside of her mouth. So right. So like I said, I don't know if this is like a normal, like I do know people sometimes have split tongues. I don't know if that's just the case with him or if this is something else going on. Like he's some mutant hybrid or something. I have no idea. But yeah, it could just be normal, because I do know some people have split tongues. If that's just that, then it's that, I guess that's that. But I don't know. This show is very interesting. Like there's like so many things going on. So I wouldn't be surprised if he turns out to be some kind of a like a mutant human being or something. I don't know, like a snake, like human hybrid mutation or something. Again, or it might just be him with a split tongue. So right. So obviously, Kudo's pissed. This part is hilarious. I feel like the people who are making the subtitles just just did this whole typing, just bashed his hand into the keys, and whatever came out came out. Oh no, they just put They just did all the QWERT, all of them side by side. They just put all of them. Yeah, it's literally the sequence on my, the QWERTY keyboard. The sequence that is there, literally that. Okay, okay. So then when he's outside, Yulong calls him. I think this is the same guy with the mask. I'm assuming. I'm not 100% sure, but anyways, that was that. And then next we get to see Kudo and Reiko. Like, Reiko's like buying like a fish jar and fish tank, sorry. And Kudo is like, since I'm here, I'm going to help you out. So, like, the guy, the old man, says the same things that he has memories of, like, oh, like, a senior is helping or something like that, which he remembers the other old man also told Reiko and him. Again, like, things that are nostalgic. He goes to the room and you can see Kudo's like watching her. Now, like I said, I feel like she had her underwear outside hanging, but unlike the previous Reiko, she's obviously a lot embarrassed. So she first tells Kudo to stand outside, goes and probably takes them down, and then invites him in. And Kudo sees a lot of similarity. First and foremost, when she says like, "Oh, keep the sleeper, put on the sleepers, keep the door open." Then the way how she immediately goes to the door, opens it, and there's like wind coming out. Then he goes to wash his face. The same toothbrush, toothpaste in the same manner. He kind of smiles because he can see like a lot of similarities. Opens the fridge. There is no water. That's one difference. The kettle and everything else is there. The plushie is a new addition, and the water tank, the fish tank. So these are like the differences. And he stands outside, thinking about Reiko. Kujirai decides to name her goldfish Success. Um, and then Kudo talks about how a lot of like the person living in the place, the room reflects that person, in a way indicating how this Kujirai is different than the other Kujirai. But there's obviously similarities, right. Anyways, he goes away after that. Right. Next, you can see Kujirai kept a sunflower in his on his desk because as a way of thanking him the previous day. Yeah, and then Zhao, what was her name? Zhao Han, right? It's not. No, Zhao He. Sorry, Zhao He. Zhao He comes here, and she like wants to look at an apartment, and she kind of says here that, oh, like, what's that sunflower? And when Kudo's like, what, you want it? And she's like, oh no, are you trying to confess to me or something? Because if you knew the flower language of sunflower is, I only have eyes for you. And it kind of makes sense, that being the flower language, because sunflower always follow the sun. Anyways, Kujirai didn't know about that, so she got embarrassed, and she's like, oh, come on, let me show you the apartment. So she takes her to an empty apartment, but she doesn't like it. And okay, this part, like I said, Kujirai says like, oh, why don't you live in downtown, like in Hong Kong? Why here? Like, you can just, because of a part-time job, you can stay anywhere. And Zhao Han was like, huh? Sorry, Zhao He, sorry. He says, you work part-time with limited responsibility, which gives you more options, right? Some memory plays in her head where it was like, I don't want to leave Kowloon. That's how I felt back then too. Then Kujirai is like, back when? And Xiaohei was like, huh? What? Did I say that? What are you saying? So again, memories that they have no idea about where those came from. Anyways, this whole thing gets interrupted, and like Kudo brings them to a different room, and this is the room which Xiaohei really liked. It's very narrow, but that's why Kujirai never brought her here, because he thought that he would like it. But she's like, oh, this is amazing, this is perfect for me. I don't even stay at home that much, so this is perfect. Right, so they go to the rooftop. She's very happy about it. And yeah, and then they look downwards, and there's like a lot of sunflowers just looking at them. And this is where Kudo is looking towards the sunflowers, and Kujirai is like, you know, okay. He says, out of all the in the field of gazes that suddenly appeared, whose gaze did Kudo-san find? Yeah. Right. Then next we get to meet this guy, the masked guy. The masked guy comes and gives her the coin. I think this is the part where he was testing her out, and seeing if like her personality is the same as the other Kujira or something. But that happens. He leaves, and then we also get to know a little bit about Numa. Apparently, the boy in the picture is supposed to be the original Hebinuma, but people say that this Hebinuma and the mother, like they're not the same. The current Hebinuma is someone else. It's the son of a mistress or something, and they like replaced her or something like that. Okay, so here like Hebinuma is talking to this guy, the guy who was investigating Kujirai, and he says how a lot of things seem similar, but it's not the same person. Right, and later he Hebinuma asks someone on the other side about investigation. The person's like, the investigation on Kujirai Reiko is underway. Um, yeah, and he takes out his dress or robe. It's like a whole like snake tattoo throughout his body. Now, I was gonna say, is he like a yakuza or something because of the tattoo? But maybe he just likes snakes that much. That's why he has those tattoos. have no idea. Like there's so many things snaky about him. Like his tongue, he wears like a snake, like like a tie looks like a snake. His shoes looks like a snake. He has a whole ass snake tattoo. His name has snake in it, Hebinuma. So alright. Okay, that was that. Then we get to see Kudo asking the whereabouts of Gwen from the tea house. So the guy was like, "Oh, ask his neighbor," and he's like, "I cannot find his neighbor either." So Kudo knows this Gwen. There you go. But then I have, like I said, I have so many questions. Like later on, the guy that comes with the mask, he talks as if he knows Kudo. He's good friends with Kudo, and he kind of implies that that Gwen is him, but that Gwen is someone else. Even while talking to Hebinuma, he said like, "Oh, I went to investigate him. He was working there up until a few weeks ago, but then he suddenly left." You know. So yeah, so many questions here. Either way, now that Kudo has no clues, like he's like something is going on in this Kowloon. Like what is happening? Then we have Kujirai, smoking, and this is where the guy with the mask comes in, and he tells Kujirai that, "Oh, you are not the same person. You are. I knew Miss Reiko very well, so it really annoys me to see someone like you emulating or imitating him and imitating her and making my friend uncomfortable." The Here we go. I found that part. The Kujirai Reiko I knew no longer exists in this world. Exists. There you go. He doesn't say she's dead or anything. In a weird way. Again, that word could literally mean that Kujirai Reiko is dead. But since this is this show, I don't trust it. You shouldn't take words at face value. There might be some kind of a hidden meaning behind it. Either way, it says the how even though you are Kujirai Reiko, you're not the same person inside. So it seems you're trying to badly like imitate her, which is causing my friend trouble. And he also says like, "I'll talk to Kudo later," and he leaves. So I want to see this guy meet Kudo because I have so many questions about him and like Gwen. Like, because Kudo is looking for Gwen, but he implies that he knows Kudo and he's Kudo's friend. So like, okay. Anyways, Kujirai goes back and you can see the sunflower has wilted, and this is where Kudo says that, "I don't like you," and she's like, "I know." And she goes back to her home. She says how she's wearing Kujirai's dress, living in her room, putting in her doing her job, but she is not Kujirai. Um, Then you can see in a moment there was like, her eyesight was kind of getting hazy in the rooftop when she was putting the in the incinerator. This is where Kujirai and her have a conversation. And when uh, Kujirai and Kudo says like, oh, it seems like you're having trouble with your eyesight. Why don't you wear your glasses? And she's like, no, I'm not going to wear my glasses. And this is where she's like Kudo's like, just listen to me. I'm not the Kujirai Reiko. And he's like, yeah, I know. And then she's not done with. She's like, yeah, I'm not the Kujirai Reiko. Even my quirk might belong to someone else, but there are things that are mine. There you go. The fish tank I picked out, lemon chicken, and being in love with you. At which Kudo's like, no, that is incorrect. You don't know that either. Just like you think this life is yours, you're experiencing the illusion that you have feelings for me. And then she's like, no, how can you say that? Like, would my illusion make my eyes follow you? Would make me choke up? All that. She was saying all of that, and then she suddenly starts, like, something happening, and she like goes unconscious. And yeah, that's how it ended. So again, so many questions. It's just yeah, one after the other. So let's see what more like if we get some answers in the next episode, or we get even more confused. But yeah, this is very mysterious. So yeah, that was it. That was my reaction to episode number 3 of Kowloon Generic Romance. If you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to press the like button, subscribe if you're new to the channel, or you haven't subscribed. Comment down below anything you want to say, anything you want to let me know. I'll check them out. That is it. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next week with another episode of Kowloon Generic Romance. Until then, goodbye and have a nice day.